What's worse than playing against one Tkachuk? Playing against two Tkachuks. Matthew and Brady Tkachuk put America on their back in the Four Nations face-off to beat Finland 6-1, scoring 4 goals in the third period. That was a game. It was a game for the first and second period. And this Four Nation face-off, it's been great. I've been watching it. I'm making a video on it. I'm not a hockey savant. I'm not a hockey expert. I watch hockey casually as a Panthers fan. But this Four Nations face-off in place of the All-Star game is amazing. Because with my sports, which is probably every sport, but the two main sports I watch are basketball and football. I also watch baseball. But basketball and football, with their two All-Star games just being so close to each other along with hockey, I'm used to not watching them because they are so uncompetitive and boring and don't mean anything to the players that are already making $30 million a year. I mean, flag football, it's become flag football in the NFL. And now the NBA All-Star game, it's becoming, who knows what the hell it is this year. I don't even, the format is retarded. And the players don't care, the players don't give effort. But with this, NHL is notoriously more competitive All-Star game than all the other leagues. Maybe not baseball, maybe so, I don't know. But it's notoriously more competitive. But this, putting the country's name on the player's chest, making the player represent their country to 4 of the best nations of hockey, it means something to the players even more. And it's competitive. The players are actually out there hitting. They're getting chippy. They're out there fighting. They're out there scrapping to try and win for their country. And it's only the 4 best nations. It's not all the nations competing against each other. So you really see high-level hockey. And Finland, they came to play in the first period. They opened up the scoring 1-0. And then Yoki Haru and then Brady Tkachuk answered back 3 minutes later. USA ties at 1-1 to the first period. Second period comes around. Matt Boldy scores. It's 2-1. And then the third period is where USA sprinkled that USA magic, that USA spirit, that American patriotic spirit, and went on a 4-0 run in the fourth period. 2 goals in 40 seconds. Matthew Tkachuk opened up the period with the goal. Then it was his assist, I believe. No, it wasn't his assist, but Jake Gunsel. And then Brady Tkachuk scored, and it was on Matthew's assist. And then right after that, Matthew Tkachuk scored. The Tkachuks combining for 5 points in this game. Matthew Tkachuk had player of the game. At the end of the game, a little presentation. That was pretty cool. But USA goes into Canada, beats Finland, and now they play Canada in another round-robin game on Saturday. And that is going to be the game. That is going to be electric. While the NBA is having their 3-point shootout, while the NBA is having their dumb skill challenge or their dunk contest we see in every dunk possible, it's going to be USA versus Canada in Canada. Canada is going to be lighting us on fire. They already boo the USA teams when they walk into any Canadian team, whether it's Edmonton, Montreal, Winnipeg. They already boo our national anthem. And they know we're better than them. They know we're better than them, and they're gonna burn the city down maybe if we win. USA is gonna walk into Canada and take over the trap. But that's gonna be an insane game. That is gonna be an insane game. Canada, Connor McDavid, Crosby, Mitch Marner, all those players. Canada and USA are probably the 2 you could say now that would beat Finland. The 2. It was going into the Four Nation face-off. It was obvious they were the 2 best teams. But now they're truly, truly the 2 best teams. The 2 team with a win. And USA is now ahead in the standings. So the 2 top teams in the 4-team standings, they go to the championship next Thursday. So those teams are Canada. You get 3 points for a win, 2 points for a win in overtime, 1 point for a loss in overtime, and of course 0 points for a loss in regulation. So Canada and USA lead the leaderboard. So it's going to be a big game, actually, because Sweden and Finland, they play on Saturday. And if Sweden wins, they have 1 point, right? So they get 3 points from a win in regulation. All of a sudden, they're ahead of Canada. So that game's before the USA-Canadian game at 8 o'clock. Sweden versus Finland's at 1. So if Sweden beats Finland, all the pressure's on Canada to win in their hometown. So that's going to be an insane game. You know it's going to get hard, it's going to get chippy, and it's going to be a nasty game, and it's going to be very, very entertaining. Let's go USA. But man, this Four Nations face-off, the hockey NHL has just outdid themselves with this. You know, it's not nothing too much for a little mid-season break. It's just four teams, four of the best nations, and they're competing with the best players from their country. And that's all you can ask for, is competition in these All-Star games, competition amongst the best players in the league. And while, you know, they're not all the All-Stars, US and Canada are basically all the All-Stars. But while it's not the traditional all the All-Stars in the NHL game, you get some mid-average players from the NHL because Finland, Sweden, not that strong to have complete All-Stars like the USA. But it makes it more entertaining because they're fighting for the country, and Sweden put up a great game. Canada. Keep saying Canadian. Who's Canadian? I mean, Canada, you're about to be the 51st state, apparently. But Canada goes up 2-0, 2-1, 3-1, and then Sweden comes back, forces it to overtime. Mitch Marner scores a goal, 4-3. Canada wins in overtime. Entertaining game, competitive game. This one, it was entertaining for the first two periods. It was close for the first two periods, and then it got blown away. You know, I liked Finland. It's hard not to root for Barkov. And Lucerine. The Panthers, they have 8 players competing in this Four Nations face-off. 8 players, only 1 on USA, 2 on Canada, I think 1 in Sweden, and 4 on Finland. I think it's Mikkola, Lucerinen, Lundell, and Barkov. Those are the 4. Tkachuk, USA, Rhino, and Sam Bennett for Canada, and then Gustav Forsling for Sweden. So the Panthers have 8 players competing. So no matter what game you watch against the Panthers, I get to watch some of my favorite players. But it's just great. And now let's get to the NBA. So the NBA All-Star Game, I figured this out about 25 minutes ago. You got 3 teams of All-Stars, 8 each. There's 24 All-Stars, 8 each. Selected by Shaq, Kenny, Chuck. It's the Shaq's OGs versus the Kenny's Young Stars versus Charles's, I don't know, Bigs, I don't know what it's called. It's 3 teams of 8. And they're going to play till 40. And then the other team of 8 is going to be the Rising Star Champions, which is managed by Candace Parker. So the Rising Star Champions are going to go against one of those 3 teams, and two other of those teams are going to go against each other. And then whoever wins goes to the championship. So we got 4. It's a 14 face-off for the All-Star Game also, but it's a 40-point game. It's 240. That's the target score. So they're sticking with some target score stuff. But they're doing this new format, and they're paying the players, and it's supposed to be more competitive. But guess what? Yeah, right. These players are making $50 million a year, $30 million a year, $40 million a year. It's the All-Stars. They're making more money than I'll ever make. And you're telling me they're going to try in this all of a sudden? They are not trying. They just got off of the season just ended 3 days ago at that point. Like, they're not going to come out there and try. Then the season starts back up in 4 days after that. So you want them to try, at least give them 2 weeks of break. That's what I'll say. You're paying them okay. Adam Silver's trying, but he's not trying hard enough. This is terrible, and I think it's all led by the star players. So Tyrese Halliburton said in an interview with Obama, of all people, that he just follows the lead, goes with the flow of the All-Star Game. You know, the starters aren't trying. He's not going to try, and the young players come off the bench. I think honestly, I don't want to get it to LeBron or Curry, but it starts with them. I feel like the old dudes have a heavy influence in the All-Star locker room, and I feel like LeBron and them, he's like, oh, we're not trying. We're going to take this last. We're going to start shooting half-court shots, and they don't want to play. So, you know, the bench isn't going to try either. And I like to see the young stars be like, okay, let's try. Let's lock these old heads up, because it's the young stars versus the OGs, so they're trying to make it more competitive there. But it's not going to happen. You're not going to get anything like this NHL face-off. These NHL players are getting paid, what, 5 times less than the NBA players? And they're trying like this? Because you put the country on the front of their jersey, and not only that, they still try when it's not the country on the front of their jersey. It's incredible. The NBA is just player empowerment ruined. You see it with the trades, and now you're seeing it with the All-Star Game for the last 10 years. It's been ruined. Player empowerment ruined it. And then give them an extended break, the NBA, because they come back like 4 days after the All-Star. The All-Stars don't want to be there. They want to get in and get out. They don't want to be there. They don't want to participate in this 3-point contest. They want to get out. They didn't even bring back the Curry Sabrina thing because they couldn't work out a way to make it more creative or do it again in a different way. So that's what my solution is. You go king of the court. Because you're going one-on-one, you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose one-on-one. You get to see KD versus LeBron one-on-one. And I know LeBron probably doesn't want to do that, or maybe even KD doesn't want to. Too much pride to lose it. But you go king of the court tournament with the All-Stars and see what happens. It'll be fun. You'll get Luka versus LeBron. You'll get KD versus LeBron. You'll get Wemby versus LeBron. Wemby versus KD. Tatum versus Braun. Tatum versus KD. Kyrie versus LeBron. Kyrie versus Tatum. You'll get rivalry matchups. You'll get matchups you'll never seen before. One-on-one. Do it to 3. King of the court. One-on-one to 3. That's the best. At least for All-Star. Get rid of the dunk contest. Get rid of skill challenges. 3-point contest could stay. That's the only thing that's consistent. Because it's the same thing. It's decent. They can kick off a 3-point contest, then go straight into King of the Court 1v1s. You can do your All-Star game, because that's what you need. You need a game of hoops to participate in. But that's it. This thing has been... I don't even watch it no more. It has been terrible for years. I mean, I've never ever seen a competitive All-Star game in my life. And it's sad. I would love to see a competitive All-Star game, because it's the best players going at it on a team together. Dream teams. It sucks. And this Four Nation Face-Off is great. I love the World Baseball Classic, and I like the Four Nation Face-Off. I don't want them to do it every year because it won't be special. Like World Baseball Classic every 3 years. Do this every 3 years. I don't know what the plan is for the NHL to do this, but this is incredible. We get to see USA versus Canada, and even Finland versus Sweden. I'll be watching because I want to see if Sweden can win, and maybe they can go on into the championship. The first 2 days of games are in Boston, or in Canada, Montreal, and then in Boston the next 2. So if we win, if the USA, we go to the championship and we play Canada, it gets to be in Boston. So there's some history there. So it's going to be incredible. So Canada's going to boo us out the building on Saturday. And then hopefully we play them in the championship and we get to beat them in the home of the free, the home of the brave, America. Let's go USA. This is entertaining. I don't even care if USA doesn't win the championship. I'm going to be watching because the players are actually playing in an All-Star game. And it's fun. It's fun. It's great hockey. I like hockey, but I can't watch it all. I can't watch every sport. So I watch the Panthers. That's it. But this was entertaining. USA 6-1 Finland. The Tkachuks. Get him on the Panthers. Get Brady on the Panthers. He doesn't want to be in Ottawa no more. He doesn't want to be where he's at right now. Get him on the Panthers with Tkachuk and let them play. Because when they play together, you see what happens. It's just more fun for them. It's the power of friendship. The power of family. Even though they didn't play together all that much, especially the first 2 periods, they still were effective when on the ice. Get Brady in Florida, in Sunrise. Let's go.